Well, we finally got something that Kirby Smart and Dan Mullen agree about. That doesn't happen all the time, that's for sure. The Dogs and Gators fight one another tooth and nail, but right now they are in agreement on one thing, and that is that depth is going to have a real big say in how this 2020 season goes. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Thanks for joining us today, joining me, and thanks for visiting the website. Uh, Kirby Smart on Sunday had something pretty important to say about the season as it relates to depth. He goes straight into it. Depth is going to be a very big key. We preach that to our coaches. Every practice, every walkthrough, everything we're doing coaching from four groups of people for four groups of people. Now our fourth team. Now, is our fourth team as good as our first team? Absolutely not. But we're trying to coach like we're going to have to play a game against an SEC rival with possibly our third or fourth guy. We are going, we are trying to coach like we're going to have to play a game against an SEC rival with possibly our third or fourth guy. Look, Georgia's really good. They're not winning the SEC if they're rolling their third and fourth guys out there. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And for Dan Mullen, who met with the media on Monday, things are a little bit more complicated for the Gators because it looks like there's some guys who have opted out or are in the middle of opting out for this season. Here's what Dan Mullen had to say. I think the team that's going to be able to adjust the best to what's going on is who's going to be holding up the national championship trophy. And he added, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of players or coaches opt out. And there's been some reporting from Gainesville that some receivers have been, not moving forward with the program. But, we'll just have to see how this progresses. Georgia has their own issues on the offensive side of the ball with a new offensive coordinator and certainly new receivers and certainly a new quarterback. For the Gators, you start losing wide receivers. I don't care how, prepared Kyle Trask is and how solid he is. You lose receivers, that's going to hurt you. Jake Fromm can lecture you about that for a while. You've got to have playmakers. What happens if your quarterback is one of the guys that gets COVID-19 and has to sit out? Obviously, injuries have always been a part of this. Now you're having, not just injuries. You've got, injuries, learning curve. Those have always been there. Those always been a problem for SEC teams and anyone in college sports. But now you have the capability to just straight up opt out. You have campus explosions with COVID at North Carolina, North Georgia, Michigan State is shut down, Notre Dame. This is another thing. And then obviously on the football team itself, you could have a problem with one or two guys getting it and not being able to play. If they've got this, they are not playing. So how far down do all of these teams have to go in order to get the season that they want? I mean, is your third string guy, and I don't go up to fourth string on offense and defense. I have first and second. That's it. But for instance, a guy at Georgia like Keely Ringo, he's not going to be available. I mean, he could be a second or third string guy in theory this year. He could have been a first string guy. He's gone. So that depth, it's out. He's not going to be around. I can't imagine it will be at the beginning of the season. And an injury like that, you could be talking about the whole year. If Richard LeCount gets hurt, who's your safety all of a sudden back there? Azeez Ojulari. They've got pass rushers, but Azeez is really good. At tight end, you only have 5 tight ends. That's like, there are positions where maybe you could lose a guy, but it's not ideal. And then there's positions where, for Georgia, that'd be a disaster. Like, that'd really be bad. Quarterback, running back, tight end, those are spots that's going to be a problem. Linebacker, maybe not. But, at Florida, the Gators are not as deep as Georgia. And now you've got some guys opting out. It's going to make for people say interesting too much, but this is going to make for a complicated and very clinical walk through the season. Just because a guy can't play against, say, Arkansas, doesn't mean he can't play. It doesn't mean he's knocked out for the Auburn game necessarily. So there's all sorts of stuff that we're still dealing with. And I think Dan Mullen's right. Whoever deals with this the best way is going to hold up the national championship trophy. Could be one of those two teams. It could be one of those two teams. Okay, I want you to check out this 2020 playlist right here. We're updating as we go because now we're in the 2020 season. I mean, practices are actually happening. So make sure to click that. We will see you over on that playlist. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.